Good evening and welcome to Wanderings and Wool Gathering, episode 159. Guess what's new? It's Metalhead Mundy. At the top of the show, he's here.
Yeah, I don't get to do that very often. Join you right away.
I know, I thought it'd be fun tonight. It was your choice anyway. You chose Prong State of Emergency, new record, one of your favorite bands. Great stuff. And you chose the challenge, so I thought you should be upfront and personal on this one.
Why not? Why
not? And I had to let everybody get that spectacular view behind you from the top of the show. Look at that.
Yeah, working on the nerd cave. Got my bookcases moved in here, and I think I sent a bunch of pictures of all the little details to you earlier. So, but yeah, I'll probably tweak the little knickknacks and whatever we got over here. Got a bunch of action figures and super nerdy crap everywhere. So
yes,
DVDs, graphic novels, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, his retirement fund is behind him.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I wish.
Well, okay, your retirement viewing is behind you.
Yes.
One way or
suck up my time once I have nothing else to do.
Yeah, that'll never happen. Everybody always says, when I retire, I have less time than when I was working. And I'm thinking, you're doing it wrong. I don't know what your problem is.
Yeah, I feel like somebody's doing it wrong.
Indeed. All right. Well, we do have a couple of things to get to on the show, but you did send a quick, hey, check this out. This just happened from Lamb of God.
Yes. So we're big Lamb of God fans. We just saw them live not too long ago. This is like about the 1 year anniversary of the release of their last album, Omens, and they've been doing a lot of stuff around that. I think they released like a kind of a making of behind the scenes documentary type thing, which I have not watched yet. I will.
I've not either.
I've seen a couple of clips here and there. But they released a new song that they recorded during the Omen sessions. It's called Evidence. And man, if I was in a band, I feel like when you sat down to like track the album and all of that, I would have a hard time because there's nothing about this song specifically that I'm like, it shouldn't be on the album. No, it's terrible. It doesn't fit. Now,
no.
It's great and it fits perfectly with all of the rest of the album. So I don't, whoever's making the decisions to cut good on them.
Or it could easily be like the first track of a new record. It's really good. I wish I would have sat down and actually taken some notes on it, but it's a freaking banger.
Yeah.
Again, man, those drums, he slays it. They're so tight. They're just fantastic, and that song is great.
I agree.
And I would just say too, I know you had seen them before. This was my first time seeing them live, and live they are just as tight. They are so cohesive when they play.
Oh yeah,
and it was phenomenal. That was the headliner of any show for sure.
Yeah, seeing Lamb of God live, they could not have brought in, I think, a better drummer to replace Chris Adler than Art Cruz. And he totally delivers live. Just absolutely amazing. And Randy, man, he's got to be in the front runner for probably one of the best metal frontmen working today.
He is fantastic.
Oh my God. Just a little ball of energy. The voice is there. He's amazing.
For as active as he is to still have the voice the whole time. You always see on these shows, people dance around. They all have, they're all lip syncing because they can't sing while they're dancing. That dude is everywhere and he brings it.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, that was good. And then the other thing we have tonight before we do the record is a challenge that I think, weren't you the Halloween challenge last time?
No, that's what this is.
Last year it was Halloween songs, I think, from you, and this one is songs about death. which
Maybe,
is similar,
yeah.
but yeah, I think these are both yours.
Yeah, I mean, it's this is our first show in October, so I was just like, hey, we're kicking off the spooky season. Why not just throw out 3 songs that you love about death? So, get right into the spooky stuff and talk about dead people and how we get dead people and what we do to dead people and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to be mulched. Marianne and I have decided that we are going into
Nice.
that mulching process, then turned into a tree.
Nice.
It is amazing. It's friendly for the environment. We will live on and, eat up carbon dioxide because we're trees. It's going to be amazing.
There you go.
So, circle of life.
All right.
Well, the circle, kind of an oblong, because I don't know that's technically the circle, but I'm going to count it.
Yeah. Because
it's cool.
I think the circle of life would have something to do with you being eaten and pooped out and fertilized something. And
well, according to Mufasa, you turn into the grass. So technically, if we're mulched and put underneath the tree, maybe we would become grass.
There you go.
Of course, there's no antelope to eat grass in Indiana, but maybe I'll become an oak tree or a sycamore.
Maybe a dog will come by and graze on some grass.
Yeah, that's probably more like it. Probably. Hey, so before we get started, do you want to share your wife's death songs?
Yeah, so we took a little, that's another thing too. We took a little trip down to Brown County a few days ago. We went back down there to the Brown County Music Center down in southern Indiana and saw Mr. Brian Setzer. He's got a Rockabilly Riot tour going on, and man, just what a show. It was zero production. I don't even think they brought their own lights. It was literally him, a drummer, and an upright bass player. And damn, they were good. Man,
all about the music.
Those Rockabilly guys, I just think they're incredible musicians. And he seemed happy to be there, and he put on a good show, and it was super fun. But anyway, in our travels, we were talking about this challenge, and she got to thinking about it, and she threw out a few. So I was looking for 3. She gave me 3, and I think an honorable mention. So she's a big Hozier fan. So there's a song of his called "In a Week," and there's a female vocalist on this song, but I don't know who it is. It's just credited as Hozier. So, but her voice is amazing. But it's them kind of singing together about like basically just being in love and laying down in the grass and dying together, and they'll find us in a week, and stuff like that. Like they're so in love, they just want to die together and be found.
Cool.
It's a pretty great song. She put "Fire and Rain" from James Taylor. So little old school.
That's right. He's got a great voice.
And a tune from Death Cab for Cutie, who I'm not. I mean, obviously, I know who they are. I do not know this song. It's called "I Will Follow You Into the Dark."
Nice.
I don't know that song. I'll have to check it out. And there's we like a lot of the Irish stuff. So her honorable mention was "The Chieftains" with Alison Krauss. A song called "Molly Ban."
I don't know the song. I know the group, but
yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So, pretty cool. She had some ideas, so I told her to send them to me, and we talked about them.
Very nice. Okay.
That Hozier song is really great. I'd recommend anybody checking that out.
All right. Well, I'm glad that she played along. I thought I just checked the email, thinking maybe T-Bags had sent his over. Didn't get those, but I was hoping we would.
Yeah.
So, okay. Are we going to go back and forth?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Do you want me to go with are we doing 3-1? Doesn't even matter.
Probably. That's probably what I was going to do.
Okay. I'm going to go with my weird choice.
Okay.
Because this is a strange one, but I love it. It's "Bee Girl" by Pearl Jam. And it's an ode to the girl who dressed up as the bee in No Rain video.
No kidding.
If you remember that.
Yeah,
and so
of course.
what happened beyond that is this girl, like, I think the parents were kind of crazy and they thought like this was going to be her break, and she was going on shows and it was like this was her career. And so they wrote this song about this. It's kind of about her. It's like a cautionary tale, but then it kind of veers over into the death of Shannon Hoon.
Okay.
Sort of metaphorically or whatever. And one of the lines is, time is long, but life is short. And it's how you live your time in there. I just thought that was an interesting one. And it was on Lost Dogs by Pearl Jam. So it's not very well known. They've played it live a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's a strange little number. But I always found it kind of interesting that it was just like a little piece of time back in 93.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that is about something very specific. But yeah, you tie the Shannon Hoon story in there. You know, that's pretty sad how that ended. But
yeah, exactly. And it was kind of like being somebody you're not, like getting caught up in that moment. And so for him, it's caught up in the whole rock star moment. And then you ultimately pay for it. And then in her case, it was very strange. I think it was just one of those Hollywood mom type things, you know?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. So B-Girl, Pearl Jam, my number 3.
They were kind of living vicariously through her, and I think it sounds like they were probably hanging their financial hopes on her a little bit.
And a girl's ridiculed as being dressed up as a bee in a video.
Yeah.
Odd.
Yeah.
What's your number 3?
All right. So, you know, I can't run from the name Metalhead Mundy, so I had to go with one of my favorite metal songs about death, which is actually from the band Death. It is called Altering the Future. It's a great song. And it kind of deals with kind of a broad spectrum of how society treats the giving and taking of life, like, and how arbitrary that can seem sometimes. And some of the lyrics, it says, death and life taken so easily, right or wrong, whose choice will it be? And it's abortion when it is needed, execution for those who deserve it. The giving and taking of life will always be altering the future. So it's kind of, you know, just about how America as a society treats death, and who's to say what's right and wrong, and you know, that kind of thing.
Yep, you could debate that one all day. That's kind of a cool. I like that. That's What's the name of the band?
Death. It
is straight up Death. All right.
Yep. It is a Florida death metal band, one of the pioneers of Florida death metal. It's basically Chuck Schuldiner was the guy. He's passed away now. He had I think he had some kind of cancer, but just great band.
Death. Okay. I thought when you were kind of linking it to Death, you were going to go with Cannibal Corpse, but
no. Yeah, I'm not sure I could say some of those song titles on YouTube. I mean, I could, but
yeah, I just have never gotten behind Cannibal Corpse. I don't know. Didn't do it for me.
Yeah, they're not one of my favorites. I respect them for what they do, and a lot of their album covers are by Vince Locke, who's a great comic book artist.
Yes.
But yeah. And their current singer, which is, you know, they had their original singer, they parted ways with him a long time ago, but their current singer is George Corpse Grinder Fisher. And he's the best. He's got, his neck is about this wide, and there are shirts of him. It's got his face on it, and it says "Respect the Neck."
He's battling with Corey Taylor on Big Necks.
Yeah, but he travels around and he plays the crane machines, you know.
Yeah.
He's super good at them, and he plays them all the time, and all of the stuff he wins he donates to like local children's charities and stuff.
Funny.
Yeah.
That's funny you mentioned that because we're watching Arrested Development, and they just had the big crane episode yesterday.
I've never seen that show.
It's an odd one. It's funny and quirky, but
got a lot of great people in it.
For sure. All right. My number 2. So I almost went, there are 2 different songs I could have gone with on this, and it is Slipknot. The first one is Till We Die, which is a song that they would play at the end of concerts, and they put Paul Gray's over coveralls out there and all that, But the one I went with is Goodbye, which is the song actually for him. And it's really, it's a touching song. And, there's lots of turmoil in the band. And part of what made him great was just the banging of heads and, all this energy and everything. But it says, maybe we can all recognize a moment of silence. Maybe we can finally agree on the same point of view. A long time ago, we believed and we were united. So the last thing on earth I'm ready to do is say goodbye. Almost like a galvanizing moment for the band as well, coming together after his death. Yeah. Great song. It's on point 5, the Gray Chapter, obviously, for Paul Gray. So Goodbye, my number 2.
Very cool. My number 2, I went with another metal song. Don't worry, they're not all metal songs.
They can be, I don't care.
My number 2, I had to go with Dead Skin Mask by Slayer. So this song is on Seasons in the Abyss, which came out in like 1990, I think. It is super creepy. It's not like a faster song. So Slayer slowed down automatically, I think, sounds a little creepy.
Yes.
And but this song specifically is about Ed Gein. So hence Dead Skin Mask, because that's he killed people, used their skin to make different things and whatever. And it kind of has, so the lyrics are all about that kind of stuff, and it's kind of from the point of view of Ed Gein, so that adds to the creepy level. But like, if you're sitting in the dark listening to this with headphones, there is like the end, it's like, I don't know if it's really a kid or if it's just somebody that they like kind of pitched their voice to sound like a kid, but it's almost like a scene of a kid. Either you don't really know if he's in like a pit or a cage or a closet or something, but he's just like, hello, Mr. Gein, where are you? Can you let me out, please? Blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, it is the creepiest thing ever.
Is he the guy that they modeled Cowboy Bill after, whatever, from Silence of the Lambs?
Kind of, yeah.
I know there was one serial killer that they did kind of, take that from.
There's parts of that in there. I mean, yeah. Hannibal Lecter probably a little bit too, but I don't know if there's any real evidence that Ed Gein actually ate people. I don't remember, but
I was just thinking of this wearing the skin part, yes. That was like a big deal. So
yes, he did similar stuff like that. They saw where he was trying to make, I don't know, I think he made like leggings or pants or something.
Did he make jeggings?
Maybe.
That would be clever with human skin.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, super creepy song about a serial killer.
Nice. So I'm going to go next with Sarah McLachlan. No, actually, Angel is an amazing song. The stupid dog people have ruined it. And I can't even listen to it now because all I think of are sad dogs. And our dog's blind and getting older. And so I don't even want to think about it. So Sarah, you're going to have to take a back seat. But at one time, that was amazing. Your early stuff killed me anyway. But so I did not choose that. But I did have it written down just in case. But my choice is Welcome to the Black Parade.
Oh, and nice.
I love, Gerard Way is like a Morrison acolyte or something anyway. He follows that. And so I love this concept that death comes back to you in a favorite memory. I think that concept is so cool. And the fact that he loved the parade, and, he says, when I was a young boy. My father took me. That whole scenario and kind of lessening the fear of death and the fact that we're all going to die, and it comes back as this awesome memory, and so we kind of live on forever. And I love that concept, and it's a great song anyway. So my number one best death song ever is "Welcome to the Black Parade."
Very cool, great song. My number one, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this song on the show before, but if we're talking about songs about death, this is, I think, my absolute favorite.
Is it "Angel" by Sarah McLachlan?
It is not. It could have been, but no.
Thought I had you.
It's a little ditty by the Violent Femmes called "Country Death Song."
Oh, I love the Femmes.
This song, I will never forget the first time I heard it, because I wasn't always a huge Violent Femmes song. I kind of came to them later. And I heard the song, and it was a live version. And I was just like, it immediately pulled me in, and I'm like, what in the world is he talking about? And it's just a first person, perspective story about a farmer talking about killing his family. And it is so deranged and just, it's psychological, and it just the details and the delivery. It's, Violent Femmes, you don't think of them as really like, creepy, or they're kind of kooky, kind of weird and whatever. But, and Gordon's voice, man, I don't know why it works so well. I think it works so well because his voice is kind of disarming. Like it's so singular that it's kind of disarming. And then to hear him, he kind of like deadpans it a little bit, and to hear that voice saying these words, it's just, man, it works so well. And it's just good storytelling, really good storytelling.
I always think to myself, when Gordon was younger, when he would sing, did he ever think, God, I've got a great voice? Because it's one of those where he's not a good singer, but he sounds great.
So
but how do you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what makes you with that voice go on and say, I'm going to do this?
Yeah.
It's not your typical voice. That's for sure.
I don't know, but I love that song.
Yeah.
I have been called morbid for liking this song as much as I do.
That's
but right. I will defend it.
and if you're morbid, well, you're morbid.
I don't know.
You're not making skin suits or anything, so
it's a good story, man. Let's like a good story.
I'm a narrative fiend, so what can I say?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun. I am curious though, and I hope I have to talk to Teabags to see what his songs would have been. Because I'm sure he would have come up with some doozies. There would have been 9 Inch Nails and Tool. Sure. And,
surely not.
And Damien Rice and
Dermot Kennedy.
I don't know if he's got any songs about death. I can think of. Find out. All right. Well, that brings us to the record this week, which is State of Emergency from Prong.
Yeah.
And why is this one of your favorite bands, Mundy?
This is a band I've been listening to since about 1990 with their album Beg to Differ. I probably found them on Headbangers Ball. And I just always loved them. It's one of those bands too where it's Tommy Victor is really the only through line from beginning to end. It has been they are typically a trio. There was a time where they had a keyboard player, and when they had a little bit more of an industrial sound for a couple of albums, but typically a trio. It's always a rotating cast on bass and drums. Prong is where I found Art Cruz. Saw him live a couple times, met him. He's a great dude. Of course, he's with Lamb of God now and just amazing. But yeah, it's their groove. Prong is, to me, all about the groove. You've got the groove, You've got the pinch harmonics on the guitar. That's like a signature Tommy thing. And man, his voice just works for the style of music that they play. So good.
It's pretty diverse too. It's not like the same. He does not sing the same on every song.
Yeah,
which is cool. I like that part. So, and we've talked a little bit about a couple of these songs because we were doing them as they were released, but we'll still touch on them here a little bit because we're looking at this as a whole piece.
Yeah.
All songs for the record, and the first song is "The Descent."
The Descent.
And does it descend into brilliance as far as an album opener goes?
I say yes. I say absolutely yes.
I concur.
This is, I mean, there's a little bit of variance in, speed and groove and stuff in this as we go through the album, but I think this one sets the stage very well. I mean, it is absolute classic Prong sound, and it is fantastic. One of my
it comes
favorites.
in hard and fast. We hit the ground running with this song, and it had one of my favorite pieces of wordplay on it. It said descent into descent, DESCENT into DISSENT. I thought that was pretty clever the way that they did that. And there's a lot of talk of dissension and almost totalitarianism in some things and being told what we're supposed to think. That kind of runs through this whole record.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a clever start to that whole thing.
So I'm in a Prong fan group on Facebook, and I saw somebody read in a review that they accused Tommy's gone down a QAnon rabbit hole, and I was like, this it's kind of always been this way. So,
well, I hope it's not QAnon because that is way far out there.
I was like, I don't feel like this is any different than any other Prong album. He talks about this kind of stuff all the time.
But what he's saying right there, like most of the stuff that he's saying here, is anybody has had, it listens at all, pays attention whatsoever. We are being told all the time what to think and do, and if you don't, nobody wants to listen to you. There is no place for discourse anymore, and so I kind of feel like that's what this is talking about. I don't see those deep state craziness things on here, but never knew. Okay, so we both agree that is a great album opener, and then we go into State of Emergency.
Title track. Yep. And this one, I don't remember hearing it too much on the Descent, but this one, absolutely, you get that signature pinch harmonic sound that Tommy loves so much. I really love the drums on this song.
That was the one thing I put down here.
Man, I looked up tried to look up the credits for this, and I couldn't. So I found Wikipedia, which whatever it said was incorrect, because it said Jason Christopher on bass and Tyler, I'm going to butcher this, Tyler Baglioli on drums. And Tyler actually replied, because I posted in this group, asking if anybody knew who played. And Tyler himself, actually, he was like, I didn't play on the record. I'm just a live drummer for now. So I was like, cool. And somebody said they read a review that said it's Steve Evans on bass and Griffin McCarthy on drums. I'm not familiar with either one of those guys.
No,
but
neither.
I hope that's who it is.
Well, whoever it is was great. And it really kicked in the double bass on this one.
Yeah.
It slowed down just a little bit from that first song, but it was still just as hard. And I really like the vocal delivery on this one.
Yeah, very cool.
Good song. Breaking Point, that was another one that was released earlier that we talked about. And do you hear I don't know if you hear this or not, but in the opening parts, there's this little squeal thing that goes up. It really made me think of Slipknot a little bit. They do that on some of their songs.
I mean, that's kind of the harmonic thing.
Yeah, it was really
playing, and it just kind of goes wee. Yeah, that's the harmonic. Dimebag used to use that a lot. Zach uses that a lot. So
this was just really pronounced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And I like, there's several different riffs in this song that I think really work well together. Very cool song.
I really like the callback vocals on it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was pretty snazzy. Non-existence is the next one, and it's different. We get a little different vibe going on here, a little smoother.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think the groove was quite as deep, quite as heavy, and the vocals were a little bit more melodic on this one.
Yeah, I think this one actually has not been released as a single, but I feel like this might be the most radio friendly song on the album.
Well, there's one more that's probably more so.
But yeah, and this I got a sense listening to this that the guitar parts were all kind of different variations on similar riffs. Like it kind of, they were similar but slightly different. Maybe, I don't know.
Like layered over each other.
I'm not a musician. I don't play guitar. I don't know how to make that make sense. But I feel like, variations on a theme, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I dug the line, "It's better to be living than to be of no use." I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that one mellows out a little bit, and then Light Turns Black comes right back in, just killing it with the heavy guitar.
Yeah.
And brings us back into where we were before. And I didn't love this one as a song. I appreciated the guitar on this one, but not one of my favorites.
Same. Yeah. This is like our, we talk about the mid-album slump a little bit. This is about all of that for me, maybe this song, because I don't think that holds. I think we get right back into some good stuff, and this is not a bad song. I would never say that, but looking at this as a whole, this might be the one where it kind of dips out for me a little bit, and then we come right back with the next song,
which was called "Who Told Me."
Who Told Me.
Lyrically, this one didn't hit me as much, but really dig the breakdown musically on this one. And I did like this song, but for me, there was almost a 2-song slog, as we say. This one and Light Turns Black for me they didn't hit me.
Okay. There was one part of this song that I really liked that kind of, when I talk about Anthrax a lot, they have, in a lot of their songs, they have like this really kind of signature bounce to their grooves. I think this one hit on that a little bit. Prong has a version of that every once in a while, and that was pretty prominent in parts of this song, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. All right, then we're up to Obeisance.
Did you look up what that means, or did you already know?
I didn't look it up.
So I had to look it up because I was super curious. And according to the dictionary, it is, you can say it obeisance or obeisance, and that it is a gesture expressing deferential respect, such as a bow or curtsy.
Yeah, I figured it had something to do with obeying or
yeah. So I had never heard that word, so I was like, I don't know what that means.
We had another little change up in the music, though. I dug that.
Yes.
Really cool chorus on this one.
Yes. This was, when I first listened through this, I just had it playing while I was doing stuff around the house. And when this one came on, I was like, oh, what is this? And because that opening riff, which it comes back over and over in the song, it is so cool. It's just one of those kind of slow, chuggy riffs, and it's just super low and mean sounding. And this was one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah, you know what? There's almost like a prog feel to some of their stuff, because they do that a lot, where they've got this kind of riff going or this sound going, and they kind of go away from it, and then they come right back to it. And I think it seems more in your face because some of those riffs are so deep and everything, that when they go away, and then they come back, it's like, oh, there it is again, because it is really pronounced. And this is where, for me, that brought me back into the record, and I was like, okay, we're going again. And then the next song is my favorite song on the record. This one hit me out of left field, like, holy cow, what is this? and it's an excellent song. It
Yeah,
sounds almost like an old punkish type song, and
there's a reason for that.
oh, sweet, can't wait to hear it. But yeah, the vocal performance is awesome. It's got a super cool groove, and it almost doesn't seem to fit the record, but then oddly enough, it even fits it better because it just really stands out and hits me in the sweet spot.
Yeah, so Prong is heavily influenced by Killing Joke.
Oh wow, yeah, there you go.
That's where you get this sound.
Mhm.
When I heard it, and immediately I was like, boom, that's Killing Joke.
Yep, I hear it
And
now.
to the extent where there were a couple of their albums that well, I wish I knew what year to what year, but there was a time where Paul Raven from Killing Joke was in Prong. He played bass in Prong.
Okay.
So he was with them for several years in the 90s. And so yeah, this one is very Killing Joke. It's Tommy's wearing that on his sleeve here, which is great. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
This was also one of my favorite songs on the album, and I love his vocals on this song.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's of another time. It's so
Yeah.
cool. And then again, like the next song, Compliant, we get another different vocal style, which is fantastic. A really cool guitar solo break on this one. And one of the things, like we were talking about earlier, where you thought he was like down a QAnon hole or whatever, I just thought it was poignant commentary on politics right now. Enemies of the regime in their war on reality, the ones that disagree, destroy them entirely. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't agree with them, well, you're wrong, and we're going to show you why you're wrong. And we're warring with each other over ideas. It's just crazy. So I this song is fantastic.
Yeah, all of that. I don't really have anything to add. That's spot on.
Your answer is ditto.
Yes.
No, it is. I mean, it's like the song, the music is perfect. The lyrics are great. It's exactly what you want songs to do. So back New York City, the next one. And I'll let you take this one.
So, I mean, Tommy is from New York City. He was a sound man at CBGB. That's where Prong started. He was a sound man. I think I'm going to get his last name wrong. I think it might be Troy Kirkland. But the original bass player in Prong was the doorman at CBGB. So they have super, super deep roots in the punk and hardcore scene. And this is really just kind of a love letter to that. I mean, it's all, I want to go back to New York City where I belong, where I live, all of that kind of stuff. And it kind of touches on that. I would say a little more of the hardcore sound than the punk sound.
It's really fast paced. This is really heavy. The pass.
Yeah. This is just straight up Tommy, a love letter from Tommy to his hometown.
Yeah. No, it was a good song. I really liked it. And I did dig that it came out of the last two and it really hit hard and fast.
Yep.
And they do that a lot on this record. I think the way that they place the songs on this really makes sense because it's kind of a roller coaster. We don't get just stuck in a groove. They break us out over and over. And I hope it's intentional. I don't know, but
I mean,
it makes sense to me.
Track listing, I think, should be pretty strategic. So I would not doubt that it is here.
I agree. And then the last one is this song called Working Man. I don't know anything about it.
When I first heard it, I saw the title and I was like, and then I heard it and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to hear what Steve says about this.
I loved it. I did.
I love it. This is a great cover. They didn't really change anything. They slowed it down a hair and made it super heavy. But I mean, it's basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It is a great, great cover.
Yeah. I mean, they just tuned it down. So it's a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And they slowed it down, which is smart. A band like this doesn't need to be doing what in the boy, but I don't feel, in your favorite bands there, you're the gatekeeper of whether or not this is going to be good. But the first record is not, I mean, I love Working Man, but I don't feel as much for it. This is, John Rutsey. This isn't Neil Peart, and so I don't have as much of a connection per se. So I'm like more open open to people doing things with it, which is really makes me worried about Ghost doing Red Sector A. But I'm going to give it a chance because this is phenomenal. I mean, they really did do just an awesome job. And Victor says, Tommy said, Rush was the first power trio that he ever saw, and he was blown away by him. So kudos to him for taking this one on.
And I said, they've pretty much always been a trio, except for a short period of time where they had a keyboard player. So
yeah, no, great closer, great album closer, and just overall a fantastic record. I'll go first. This is your baby. I would say probably a 4 out of 5. There were 2 songs I didn't love, but that isn't to say I didn't like them. I didn't love them. And the other ones I did. Disconnected blew me away. Absolutely loved it. Breaking Point, I think, is fantastic. The Descent, just killer opener. This is a one that I will definitely listen to again, and couldn't like it much more. So
Prong is, man, it's one of my all-time favorite bands. I did not see them live for a long time, and then I saw them twice pretty quickly. So I'd love to see them again. Like a new Prong album for me, it's like wrapping up in a warm blanket. It's just comforting. It feels good. It makes me happy. And there are no huge missteps here. I don't think there are really any missteps here. It's just always great to hear Tommy again. So I would easily go 4.5 out of 5 for me. I love Prong.
Excellent. So the word on the street is, listen to this, people. It is worth your time.
Absolutely.
Sure. All right. Next week, we have no idea what we're doing. That's just how we do it because we don't know what's out.
I think we might have something, but I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. But we do have an announcement that I almost forgot about.
Let's hear it.
So I went with my son, Fane, my 19-year-old. We went to a show, saw Stabbing Westward, which is, love that industrial sound. It's one of my favorites. They had an opener who I had never heard of, and it was one woman on stage by herself, and she was absolutely amazing. Blew me away. She goes by Ayatoya, and she's great. But I reached out to, I said she has a new single coming out at the end of this month. Which is actually produced by Walter Flackis from Stabbing Westward. So we are not going to get her before that single comes out. She is going to come on the show and talk to us. So the single drops at the end of the month, and then she will be on our show November 6th. And 3 days after that, she is releasing a video for this song that's coming out. So she'll come on our show and talk all about the video and hopefully, get the word out on that. So
yeah.
But
so
she's
mark
great.
Your calendars, people.
Yeah, she seems really cool. She's, I've interacted with her a little bit now, and seems really nice. So looking really forward to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cannot wait to meet her on the show and ask those hard-hitting questions.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. We're just going to throw softballs.
I listened to her on another podcast, and she's based in Chicago. She's from Poland. So she has a very, very thick accent. So, but she's fine. She can speak the English. So
more friends of the show. You can't beat that.
Hope so, man. She's awesome.
All right. Mr. Mundy, where in the heck can we find you when we're not watching you on this show?
Well, you just go to Instagram and type in my handle from the show, Metalhead Mundy, at Metalhead Mundy. And probably see some pictures of my cat. We've been going to live shows a lot this year. Pictures of me and my wife, whatever. We're boring.
Awesome. Love it. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. And at Wanderings wanderingsoulgathering.com. You guys got to check it out. We're putting up music articles and stuff. We're doing some comics reviews. So wanderingsoulgathering.com. You can also find our show there. It lists them all. You can click on them and it takes you wherever you need to go. You can watch them on our YouTube channel. You can check them out over at Apple, Spotify, Castbox. Is Castbox gone? Or Stitcher?
I don't think so. Stitcher went away.
Stitcher's gone. Yeah. And SoundCloud. So no reason you shouldn't be watching the show. It's an all-in-one, wanderingsoulgathering.com. Check that out. We will be back next week. We're not sure with what yet, but it's going to be riveting. You can count on it. Or his name is not Metalhead Mundy. Check his birth certificate. It really says Metalhead Mundy. His parents.
It might.
See? Nobody knows.
You don't know.
He's an enigma wrapped in a riddle. Bye now.